Hey, 1 2 1 2 1 2. Let's go, man. Hey, look, man. We have to use our expertise. Everything that we know over here, everything we know about box, it would be safe to say that Candace, look, man, look, stop this. Look, she ain't gonna review our video because our video is the real truth. Okay? She could talk about all these white boys because all she do. I'm not even into all the promoting of this and that, but she's promoting these white boys. But this right here is the real truth. And every time I watch Candace Owens, she is sitting up there making Charlie Kirk sound like a simp. Prince, how do you know? Because it takes one to know one. How do you know? Because he's the worst of the simps. And the problem is, why won't Candace Owens say, yo, Charlie's a simp? Look, let me explain something to you. By the time we finish this series, but we're going to start here, by the time we finish this series, you will know that Candace is, this is the one thing that she won't say. She's painting Erica out to be this great bad wolf. We're not worried about that. We're worried about Charlie Kirk being a simp. Okay? And I am the man who can give you the accurate assessment of a simp. Okay? No one else can do it better. And the way that we start this, the way that we start is we start with the bitch. Now, Candace is not going to review this because we're cursing. Okay? We're going to start with the bitch. Once you start with the bitch, you see, oh, that nigga's with that bitch? Oh, that man is a simp. So we must start with the bitch. And once you see who the bitch is, you say, well, hold on. This story don't even make sense. How could Charlie Kirk be with a bitch like that? And the answer is this.
I was basically like his wingman and very much enjoyed that. I was very pro Erica.
Because Charlie Kirk had a bitch that was his wingman. Homie, we don't approve of that. So now we start to understand, oh, Candace, I'm a simp, Candace. Charlie's a fucking simp. Why won't you say it? You co-sign this shit.
I was basically like his wingman and very much enjoyed that. I was very.
You enjoy being Charlie Kirk's wingman. We're going to get into that later, but I was just giving you guys how we're going to start this whole thing. When you start with the bitch, okay? You start with the bitch. Who's the bitch? The bitch is Erica Kirk. She, in my opinion, she did nothing wrong. Okay? As a professional and an expert on simps, Charlie, he did everything wrong. Okay? Candace, you are in the weeds unless you can identify and come and be clean and be real and say, you know what, Charlie Kirk is a fucking simp. You're sitting out here placing the blame on a bitch. But once we finish with this series and you realize, well, Charlie Kirk tells other men what to do, but he has you as a wingman and y'all co-signed the bitch. Look, we know people like Umar Johnson and all these other type of men and how men act different around pussy and all of these other things. You understand? And we will get you and the viewers to the bottom, to the bottom of this thing. What we will do, we will start with Erica Kirk. We'll start with Erica Kirk. Now, as we break down Erica Kirk, you're going to sit there and say, okay, how could Charlie be with someone like this? Not only will you think that, you will also say to yourself, well, hold on. Erica was always a star. She's always been a rock star. She's always been a feminist. The woman, bro, Charlie is a fucking simp. Let's go. She started an organization called Everyday Heroes. This way before Charlie. But she might have known Charlie by now. But we're going about how this pussy got into the place. Let's go. Stop the show. It was just me and my mommy. Okay? No. Over here, we break it down. Oh, shit. Hold on. We break it down correctly. Hold on. Now, this is where Candace went all the way wrong. Let's go.
Interviewed her in New York. That is true because she was looking for a gig with Turning Point USA. And that,
let's go.
Telling the truth. I was around for that. I just had to scroll in through my own text messages. Here is Erica similarly telling the story herself. Take a listen.
He got finished with his burger and he just sat there and he looked at me and he's like, you know what? I'm not going to hire you. And I was like, that's fine. I don't need this job.
Charlie Kirk said, I'm not going to hire you. And this feminist bitch said, that's fine. I don't need this job anyway. That's very important to when we go back to how she was raised. But I just want you to see what Candace is playing. And she don't understand. Ma'am, I'm a simp. I identify with Charlie. Charlie's a simp. Simp alert.
I'm doing plenty of other things here in Manhattan. He's like, I'm going to date you.
Charlie said to Miss Arizona, I'm going to date you. Hold the fuck up.
Need this job. I'm doing plenty of other things here in Manhattan. He's like, I'm going to date you.
Charlie Kirk told Miss Arizona, nah, screw this job. I'm going to date you. Come on. And Miss Arizona just melted in her chair and said, oh, Charlie Kirk, right. Okay.
So this is a job interview, and I'm going to show you one more example of this. She tells Megyn Kelly this on stage, and this is even after his assassination. So take a listen.
When I met Charlie, the only reason I sat down with him because I thought it was a consulting position for work. I was not thinking.
She thought it was a consulting position for work. She is an independent working woman, Miss Arizona. None of that matters. It only matters to the fact that how could Charlie be with a Miss Arizona? Not only how could Charlie be with a Miss Arizona, who the fuck signed off on that? We just take it easy. We're going to get there. I wouldn't encourage any of my niggas to marry a goddamn beauty pageant. Not a person like Charlie. I would say, why you can't get you a regular woman? We'll get there.
I did not date in Manhattan. I saw the pits of hell of the dating pool through my.
She saw the pits of hell in the dating pool of Manhattan. And guess what Charlie had to do to start dating her? Dating means fucking. Guess what Charlie did? Charlie said, no, you ain't going to work for me. You going to be my wife. Let's go.
My roommates.
So I can tell you, going back in my text messages with Charlie, that this date thing happened September of 2018. We discussed it. Like I said, I was basically like his wingman and very much enjoyed that. I was very pro Erica and him.
I don't see how everybody is missing that. How is everybody missing that? That is Simp Alert if you ain't never heard it. Simp Alert, Simp Alert. Simp Alert. What man do you know has, let me be nice here. What man do you know has this sort of woman as his wingman co-signing his relationships? Don't worry about it. We're going to get there.
getting together. I can say that as well. So Charlie interviewed her in New York. That is true because she was looking for a gig with Turning Point USA. And I find that now to be very strange, weird.
Well, you was his wingman. And she was pimping or simping. And you co-signed on it because you was his wingman. But now you find it very weird. Is it safe to say that you shouldn't be nobody's wingman if you gonna wait till now to find it weird? Unfucking real. Charlie and Candace. Charlie Kirk is a simp, Candace. Don't you get it?
Together, I can say that as well. So Charlie interviewed her in New York. That is true because she was looking for a gig with Turning Point USA. And I find that now to be very strange, weird, that she would be looking for a job in politics at the exact same time that she apparently received her New York real estate license. Yeah. So October 2018 is when they began dating in earnest. That is the very month.
Ma'am, you signed off on this.
That Erica receives her New York real estate license. She begins dating Charlie Kirk. I'm going to show you that. Here is her license, and I'm going to show you how you figure this out. This is a snapshot. You can see it says this real estate license is valid until October 24th, 2020. In New York, your real estate license lasts for 2 years. Think of it like a driver's license. You have to get that license renewed, and it's every 2 years. So if it expired on October 24th, 2020, that means that she received her real estate license, we can assume, on October 24th, 2018, right when she started dating Charlie Kirk. I just thought that that was super interesting, but didn't.
Why would you find it interesting? She's a boss. She's been that way. Let's get to it. Let's show you why she's been that way. What are you doing? Like, you've been outfoxed. Get over it.
We would either go serve in soup kitchens or during the holidays.
That woman's been serving in soup kitchens with her mama. Do you understand?
All that from your mom. And so when did you start Everyday Heroes Like You? And can you share a little bit about Everyday Heroes Like You?
I started that when I was in high school. Again, my mom, we didn't have any family out here. It was just her and I. So
we didn't have any family. It was just her and I. Just pay attention to where the pussy comes from and you will understand why Charlie Kirk is a simp. Listen.
We would either go serve in soup kitchens or during the holiday season because we didn't have our other family members out here. So for me, it was always the importance of giving back. And so when I was in high school, it was on my heart to do something. I had no idea what, but then I just growing up saw my mom bring solutions to the table for problems. And so I went to her.
Growing up, all she saw was her mom bringing solutions to the table. A man was never maybe her granddaddy. Okay? But there's a percentage left over. The mom has the greater percentage. Let's go.
Her and I said, I want to make a difference. And she said, show me your business plan. So we went from there. I was able to formulate the fact that I wanted to keep it ambiguous enough where I was able to connect donors to organizations and nonprofits that were transparent.
I wanted to be somebody who connect businesses and donors to foundations. So she wanted to play, she was always in the mix around men, connecting these dots, getting this money since she was in high school. This is way before Charlie. She been doing this. Let's go.
That were boots on the ground, that were making a difference, that were transparent with their funds, that weren't having the breakdown of 80% going to admin costs and 20% going to the cause or the cure. So for me, it was always about the authentic entrepreneur and philanthropist who is making.
For her, since high school, she's always been a philanthropist and entrepreneur. Okay? That is who this woman has been since she was a little child. And we're going to continue to listen, and you can understand, well, damn, how could Charlie hook up with somebody like this? Listen.
Making a difference and teaming up with them and really being able to put them on a platform and expose them to other people and be like.
She want to connect people with people. You donors, you foundation, you orphans or whatever, she's in the mix.
Look what these people are doing, and this is how you can be involved. Because I found it so interesting in high school that I went to Notre Dame Prep, and we had to have a certain amount of community service hours in order to graduate. And a lot of my friends would just find a way to get those written off.
There you go. She's a snitch. She snitched on the girlfriends that would get out of community service. So she's a good person and she wants to help people, but she also snitched on her friends. Okay? Now, none of this matters because she is who she is. The point is, how did Charlie get with her? And who let Charlie do that?
I was basically like his wingman and very much enjoyed that. I was very pro Erica.
Let's go.
Or, they would forge them, which was mortifying looking back on it, because it's like, why would you want to compromise the opportunity to be a steward in your community because you just don't have time, because it's just not convenient? And that.
There you go, guys. This is who Charlie married. Somebody who's on an interview talking about other people on how they did bad and she did good. Let's go.
That is heartbreaking. And so I remember asking one of my friends, I was like, why would you choose to do that? And I remember them saying, well, I want to make a difference.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
One of my friends, I was like, why would you choose to do that? And I remember them saying, well, I want to make a difference. I just don't know how. And so for me, that was kind of the spurring moment of like, okay, well, this is how. There's 15 organizations that would love to have your help, that would love to have you volunteer or love to have you be a part of whatever program they have going on. So it was just, that was kind of a birthing moment of that. But from there, we've expanded. I helped support an orphanage in Romania. We have 92 little.
She helped support an orphanage in Romania. Nah, Prince, she lives in America. Prince, she lives in America. Well, she helped support an orphanage in Romania. Okay? She helped support an orphanage in Romania. So this is before Charlie. This woman is international. And this, you know what I'm saying? This before Miss Arizona. This woman's an international woman. So the question is, why would Charlie get with her and who signed off on that shit?
I was basically like his wingman and very much enjoyed that. I was very pro Erica.
Little ones over there. The Marine Corps is over there that helps support bringing our Christmas gifts to the little ones.
So she's in Romania with the Marine Corps. So it was just her and her mama. She goes over there and she got to do community service and she wants to do it. And she tells that the friends don't want to do it. She wants to connect foundations and donors to help people like children in Romania, even though she lives in America. And for some reason, she's connected with the Marines because she likes connecting with people. Now, as we have come to about 20 minutes into the show, would you marry somebody like this? Would you let your homie marry somebody like this? Somebody that got money, or would you say, yo, just go get a regular girl, pimp? I know she sounds like a boss babe to me. And then you watch somebody like Charlie Kirk, rest in peace. He telling other men what to do when you got a bitch like this. Wow. So let's go.
So cute. But it's been something that I've never ever have written myself a paycheck from the organization. That's not been my mission. 100% of the proceeds that go through the organization go directly to where they're supposed to go. And I found more often than not, it's easier and cleaner to request items.
Your health deserves more than guesswork. At Prenuvo, our whole body MRI scans for hundreds
and gifts of like actual things and needs. Like if the kids in Romania say, I need a sweatshirt or we need school supplies.
If the kids in Romania say they need this or they need that. Prince, she lives in America. I know. But she's international.
I found that is more, how do I say it? Not, it's just more meaningful because someone's like.
It's more meaningful. She defines what meaning is. She's a boss.
Instead of just writing a check, someone's actually taking the time to go out and purchase something, knowing that it will go to the other person that we said it was going to. So it's just really big on transparency. We've been around for a while, but just is definitely something that was on my heart since I was little.
That's awesome.
Hey, can I ask a question? It's maybe off topic. How did your mom choose Phoenix?
So she chose to move to Phoenix from Ohio because there was more of an opportunity for a female business owner out here.
Her mom chose Phoenix because it was more for female entrepreneurs out in Phoenix. Prince, why couldn't her mom just get with another man? Prince, why couldn't her mom just get with another man in Ohio? Because it was more opportunities for females in Phoenix to do their own thing. And that's what she taught her daughter. It's not Erica's fault. She is who she is.
Especially from the standpoint of she was getting involved with the government, so Homeland Security and Department of Defense.
Her mom was getting with the government, Homeland Security, and the Department of Defense.
And so she had other business partners that were out here that were already in that industry, even one that was a mentor of hers. So it was really convenient to be able to come all together in one place to really have that. But my father ended up moving out here as well because my grandparents had a home out in Sun City. And so it took a little bit to get everyone out here. It took several years, but by that time, everyone was out here. So we had a little bit more family than just us.
So you went to Notre Dame Prep, and which is funny because I actually remember playing against them. Well, it'll probably be different, but I played basketball in high school, and I remember they were so...
There you go, guys. These are basketball playing feminists. Question is, how could Charlie be with somebody like that? Who signed off on that shit? How couldn't Charlie be with a regular woman?
Good and amazing. It was always also the Seton Catholic and all the Catholic schools were just something about it, just amazing. I don't know what it was, what was in the water, but holy water.
Right. No kidding. I mean, our team was horrible. So maybe we were Notre Dame was great. I think there was a ton of Tucson Classic.
Yeah, probably. We'll have to pull it up. You beat me, but I was a point guard, so I'm not a point guard. Post.
No.
But so then you ended up playing basketball in college, NCAA. So you're pretty good at sports and athletics.
So she is an international she's an international organizational Department of Defense doing charity in Romania, playing ball. This is wild. Who the hell will let Charlie Kirk be with? How come Charlie Kirk couldn't get a regular woman? No blame is on Erica Kirk. She is who she is, like most of these bitches, B. There's no blame on this woman.
So you have that drive and that aggression, probably. So
I mean, I'll give Candace her shit. The woman just said, look, her mama was at the Department of Homeland Security, in the Marines. And I mean, the woman is tapped in. Now, compare this type of woman as a teenager to Charlie. Come on, man. Charlie is not on this woman's level at a teenager. Let's go.
Then was it after that? That's when you started pageants, or when did that come about?
Right. So the pageant world to me is something that it was an interesting season of life. It was nothing that I was ever groomed for. It was nothing that was ever on my radar. I wanted to play professional basketball.
Tomboy.
That was my thing ever since I was 5. That was I wanted to play, and that was all I wanted to do. I was a gym rat.
She wanted to play ball. That's all she wanted to do. Bitch ain't want no wedding. Bitch wasn't thinking about no man until somebody got her pussy. Let's go.
For lack of a better term. And I remember getting something in the mail when I had come home from school one summer, and it was like, hey, you should compete at Miss Arizona USA. Someone nominated you. And I was like, I don't know who would nominate me for that, but okay. So I shared it with my mom, and I was reviewing all the different things that you have to go through. And I thought to myself, if I were to ever win this, the most important thing out of it would be to be able to make a difference with the title. Nice. I don't care about the photo shoots. I just want to be able to
I see that as an important factor. Whatever she does, in my opinion, she wants to make the most of it with the title. She don't give a damn. She just wants to make the most of the title.
Things you have to go through. And I thought to myself, if I were to ever win this, the most important thing out of it would be to be able to make a difference with the title.
Nice. That is a weird comment. Ma'am, if you didn't want to do it, why didn't you drop out?
Yes. The most important thing out of it would be to be able to make a difference with the title. I don't care about the photo shoots. I just want to be able to overbook myself, being able to get involved with the local communities, with the local organizations that are actually making a difference. So the pageant world for me was something that was not.
There you go, guys. Let's go.
A form of narcissism. It was more along the terms of being a steward for my state, especially as it hit our 100th year celebration. And so I looked at it a little bit differently, and I looked at it more as a branding opportunity rather than.
She looked at it as a branding opportunity. Let's go.
Just being a typical pageant girl. I don't even put it on my resume, to be honest with you. It's something that actually plays against you when you're going in for a job role or when you're interviewing with someone, because that stigma of a pageant girl is the complete opposite of who I am.
There you go, guys. That sounds like most women say you're beautiful or whatever, and men think you're beautiful. You don't want to be that. You want to be something else. Now, when it comes to the job scenario, she don't give a damn about a job. She's an entrepreneur. Let's go.
So I didn't need to battle with that, and the fact that I'm blonde, and the fact that, I'm from Scottsdale, all these things, I'm just like, forget it. So
what would you say the stigma? They tend to think you're not intelligent because you're in a pageant? I mean, what's the stigma? Just that you're blonde, you're not, they don't take you seriously?
Like stuck up or...
not taking you seriously, narcissism, just like what, I don't know, just beauty, no brains, I guess.
There you go. This is a running theme with Erica Kirk. Once you ask her any real question, it's throwing it off to other people or See? But that's only when the men are talking. And listen, by the time we finish this series, you'll realize that when men are talking to this bitch, she's dumb. But she's a very
Parents,
bright
if your
woman.
child plays Roblox...
Yo, this woman is bright.
I don't know, just... not taking you seriously, narcissism, just like what, I don't know, just beauty, no brains,
which is
I guess.
not you at all, because you are.
There you go. Those are two feminists. A man asks her a question, she's struggling to answer it, and another bitch trying to help her answer the question. That is not her thoughts. See, and that's why Charlie Kirk is a fucking simp, because you don't get with people like this. You fucking simp.
I don't know, just beauty, no
which
brains,
is
I guess.
Not you at all, because you are gorgeous. For those who are just listening, not saying gorgeous on the outside. So obviously it makes sense why you won Miss Arizona, but also you are by far the smartest person. Like, I know you are so wise and the kindest person. So the only thing I know from pageants is.
So if you believe that about the bitch, why would she care about the pageant hurting her job opportunities if she's so smart? It's bullshit. But the thing is, none of this matters. They let Charlie marry a bitch like this.
It's Miss Congeniality, and you also seem pretty tough too. So that's how I picture you. It's like with your gun strapped to you.
Right.
Insole.
Right. Exactly.
Sing.
Exactly. No, seriously.
And did you, for the swimsuit, did you wear your gym shorts? So did you?
I wish.
I would.
Since you want to be such of a man, see, a man is detecting man. Okay? A man believes he's talking to another man. The man is like, well, look, and he's a pastor and trying to be nice about it. Well, since you're sounding so manly, did you wear your gym shorts at the swimsuit photo shoot? And what did she say?
And did you, for the swimsuit, did you wear your gym shorts? So did you?
I wish. I wish I could wear my sneakers the whole time. I tell you what, for a whole year, you have to be dressed to the tens, basically. And right after my title was up, I was in my sneakers, and I very rarely wear heels.
I was in my sneakers, and I very rarely wear heels. Why? It's either you lying or you want to be manly. Which one? You pick. There is no in between. So why would Charlie marry a manly bitch? I'll tell you why.
I was basically like his wingman and very much enjoyed that. I was very pro Erica.
Just is not me. But the pageant, some people say, would you do it again? I would. It's interesting, though, being a Christian in the pageant world, because it's not a normal thing from the standpoint of it really makes you stand up for the truth. and it really tests your morals and your values. Because when you're on stage being interviewed, or when you're, and just in life in general, it puts into perspective, when someone asks you a question point blank, do you believe in XYZ? And if you compromise the truth just to be able to get that job interview, or just to be able to be on stage and get a plastic crown on your head, then what else are you willing to compromise for? And so
there you go again, talking about other people. This bitch ain't shit, son. That's not my beef though. I'm just saying, how could Charlie marry somebody like this? Who co-signed that shit?
I was basically like his wingman, and
for me, it was something that really challenged and put into perspective. What are your beliefs? What do you stand for, and what will you not waver on?
Question. I don't know if you can answer this. I'm going to put down the beauty. But did they put a pressure on you to kind of answer politically correct, or did you just kind of know that? I mean,
worse now.
I'm sure, you said being a Christian, and speaking the truth in love, you can be shredded. But did they ever tell you that, or did anyone say if you want to win, you got to kind of have a generic, hey,
world peace,
whatever you're, world peace, and whatever. If you're in the trend, all love is love, whatever, But that did you just kind of feel that, or did someone say that, or did you just? I mean, did you ever struggle with that in pageants?
No, it's a great question. That's a great question. And I did struggle with it. I absolutely did.
Right. There you go, guys. Listen, listen, Erica is not the one to point at. Okay? Remember that. That woman is being what women are in America. Okay? Question is, why and how and who let Charlie do that shit?
I remember it was right when it's interesting. It was right when all of the cultural, I don't even know how, the cultural sensitive topics that we face today that are total trigger topics, whether that's gay marriage, whether that's, all the things on social media. It kind of all started right then and there. So a lot of the pageant coaches, if you will, or the directors it kind of came out of left field, where we were all kind of just, well, where do you stand on this? I remember a lot of pageant coaches saying, remain diplomatic, remain, if you do answer, make sure you answer with, in my opinion, or I believe XYZ, and so you don't quote unquote insult someone. So it was very PC. It was very like, this is my opinion. I'm not trying to oppose it on you, like trying to play it out of, I'm just trying to be neutral. Now is the complete opposite. I know a lot of pageant girls who've actually reached out to me privately, who are conservative, that are absolutely mortified of the questions that they are going to get on stage, dealing with BLM, dealing with sex trafficking, dealing with everything that's going on crazy in the world right now. And they're mortified because, and I just tell them, I say, are you willing to compromise the truth just so that you could possibly win? And while you win, you won on.
Guys, man, this woman is sick. Let's go.
So people think, oh, the ends justifies the means. No, Jesus,
Father in heaven, like that's said in the last. You not be afraid of offending people. We want more of that.
Whoa, what's that? I just built a budgeting app in Base 44. Guys.
So you're proving them you're not just
right. And so can you tell us about how you chose those degrees and the difference between your primary calling, which you talk about, and your
hold on,
or Christianity? It's which
exactly. And so I think that we don't realize that our job, but we just did. He was not peace to be trials. We're not going to turn into more computer and political science and international.
Here we go. Listen to this shit. Listen to this, and you tell me. How many men wants this sort of resume as a wife instead of a regular woman?
But the next thing I wanted to ask you about is your degrees. So you graduated magna cum laude with a double major in political science and international relations at the Arizona State University in Phoenix, and then you attended.
So you're proving them you're not just good looking. You are smart.
You are wise.
Go girl.
Right. Yeah, go girl. And then you graduated Liberty University with a master's degree in American Legal Studies, which is very awesome and amazing.
So you can represent like some special person in your life.
Exactly.
I know, right?
And so can you tell us about how you chose those degrees and the difference between your primary calling, which you talk about in your podcast, and then your functional calling? How would you tell someone trying to figure?
These bitches have callings. These bitches have callings, pimp. Callings of philanthropy and entrepreneurship.
I was basically like his wingman and very much enjoyed that. I was very pro Erica.
What the hell? Who the hell would let their friend marry somebody like this? During this series, we're going to play when Charlie spoke to a real friend, the one that Candace don't like. I believe it might be the McCoy boy. And Charlie says that the McCoy boy said, yo, don't fuck with her. She's out of your league. Now that's a friend. Now that's a damn friend. Okay?
Figure that out.
For sure. So I'll answer the question first about school. Growing up with a family of entrepreneurs, especially my parents, that was my textbook. And when I first started going to Regis University in Denver on my basketball scholarship, I recognized that the teachers that were teaching me about business had never, ever in their own life owned their own company.
Once again, all she does in my watching this shit is she talks about other people in a bad way. I'm sorry, guys. Now, that's the only thing that I would agree. Like, Charlie does the same thing. But it's not on Erica. Charlie's the simp.
And so I would get kicked out of class multiple times asking questions that they could not answer. But the class that I was always kicked out of was economics, because that was my first taste in the political science category, if you will, for class. And the things that he was saying did not make any sense. And so I remember going home before I transferred to ASU, and I remember telling my mom all about my classes, and she looked at me and she was—
Once again, she ain't never had a daddy or a man to talk to. Yes, she had her granddaddy, but this is the new hip society. A lot of kids, they don't want to go to the older folks. You understand? So, yeah, it's not a game. So, Charlie and Candace let Charlie marry a woman who don't have a father. Just sounds so bizarre. But what the only thing that's not bizarre out of this is Charlie is a simp, and Candace won't admit it. The man's a simp.
He was like, do you want to make a difference? And I said, well, of course I do. And she was like, then you need to understand policy. Excuse me. She said, you need to understand policy. And it didn't hit me until I actually started taking more political science elective courses to understand that there are so many things that we as citizens do not understand or are not taught in.
This woman knows policy and all that way before she met some damn Charlie Kirk. The McCoy boy said, yo, she's out of your league. The woman knows policy. She's tapped in with the Marines and the government and Homeland Security, and she's a philanthropist, and she's an McCoy told him
in high school that really highlight the importance of our rights and highlight the importance of our voice and highlight the importance of our vote, that when we just become kind of these sheep that are listening to the CNNs and the Fox News and the MSNBC.
Wait,
and so for me,
there you go. You know, this is before Charlie. She was shitting on Fox News. Why, Prince? Why was she shitting on Fox News? Because she talks negative about everybody. You're not picking up on it? But that's not my beef. My beef is, how do you marry somebody like that?
Importance of our rights and highlight the importance of our voice and highlight the importance of our vote, that when we just become kind of these sheep that are listening to the CNNs and the Fox News and the MSNBC.
Wait,
and so for me, going
What?
I know,
Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're fine. It's true though, because we just get so caught up in these media platforms. But long story short, it was one of those things where I could feel my blood boiling in all of my political science classes more than I did in my business classes. And from that standpoint, I knew that that's kind of where I needed to be, because in some way involved with someone else.
Hello? Oh my God, Dylan. Everyone watching how we shoot our podcast. We shoot every
in another country, whether you know it or not, even on social media. Again, when it all first came to start, we were all trying to figure out what the right, in quotation marks, the right, response was to each thing. And as you see how these laws that get passed play out in society, it puts into perspective what you should and should not be voting on, or what you should and should be standing for. And something that I would have thought would have been good is used for bad, or vice versa. So it was interesting for me to have that perspective and background and understanding, because a lot of things happen in the Kingdom of DC, and you have to understand that whoever you vote for in your local primary and your local politics is just as important. Your school board members, but it's something that I would not regret, because now when I look at contracts, whether that's family or friends, I'm able to understand what exactly they're signing up for. So
here we go. Here we go.
And contract law, and I wanted to be able to understand and defend specific legal terms. And I was so tired of seeing my friends and family who had just a brief question of what are my rights in this? What are my rights in this contract? And having a attorney say,
I know nobody don't understand it, but when you understand bitches the way that we understand bitches, and she sat there and she said what she said, Prince, she said it was just me and my mama. Now she got all of this family and friends. Look, right, the bitch is a liar, and that's fine, but it's not her fault.
It's going to cost X, Y, and Z for you to even have a consult with us. And it just made me sick to my stomach. And I was like, you know what? It was only a few years of learning, and it was well worth it. But it's something that I would not regret, because now when I look at contracts, whether that's family or friends, I'm able to understand what exactly they're signing up for. So I really don't think that I really made a bad decision there, because they all kind of go together. But when it comes to your calling, and like I was talking about in one of my episodes, there is a difference between your primary and your functional calling. And your primary calling is to God, first and foremost. Your primary calling is to—
And that is the truth. Her primary calling is to God. Like I said, in the community, we know that that's above man. So whatever happens to man doesn't matter, because there's a higher calling. Hey, it is what it is.
To spread the good news, and to live your life for Christ, and live your life out in the body of Christ, and be involved with the church, and authentically living in a way that reflects that. And when it comes to your functional calling, that's your response to that calling, to the primary calling. And how are you going to implement and incorporate God into your work, into your life, into what you are quote unquote passionate about? Because there's not one or the other. And that's something that I've always been very adamant about, is that if I can't bring Jesus with me into the boardroom, into my modeling contracts, into my TV stuff, if I can't bring Jesus with me in there, I don't want anything to do with it. And so that's been something that, I really try to tell my—
There you go, guys. It's just a boss type behavior. Okay? Question is, would you marry that? I'm not saying would you hit it. Now, all of this stuff is some of the same things that Candace is talking about. Let's go. She's talking about the same things, and you say, well, damn, Candace, this woman is accomplished. Give the bitch credit.
Didn't exactly make sense to me as I was doing this timeline, because I remember when Charlie met Erica. I remember Tyler setting this up. I remember the conversations, and I still have the conversations, thankfully, because I delete nothing when all this went down. The career that I was told that Erica had was that she was doing fashion. Erica was in New York City. I met her at a steakhouse shortly thereafter. Charlie wanted to know what I thought about her. And what I was made to understand was that Erica was working in fashion on this clothing brand, Proclaim Streetwear. She wore.
Yes, that's true. That's true. So, if you think that is more to the story, Candace, why can't you call Charlie a fucking simp? Huh?
Steakhouse shortly thereafter. Charlie wanted to know what I thought about her. And what I was made to understand was that Erica was working in fashion on this clothing brand, Proclaim Streetwear. She wore a lot of jewelry on her arm, and she was into like Christian branded fashion. So I'm just trying to understand why you would be trying to do both a fashion company, and then if you look up the LLCs.
Because she was a boss before him. She was out of his league. He simped for her, Candace. You get out here and you talk all this shit about these bitches. But there's another factor to it. And you can't leave it out because it's your friend. He's a fucking simp. And guess simps will make you be like that. Well, damn, Charlie, I thought we was down like that. How could you be doing all this on account of some pussy? Right. That is simp alert 101.
and why you would be trying to do both a fashion company, and then if you look up the LLCs, certainly at the beginning of 2019, she files for a trademark for that fashion brand. So she is both running a fashion brand, getting her master's at Liberty University, getting her real estate license, and beginning a career with Corcoran Real Estate, which is a massive real estate firm in New York.
Hello? Hello? What did she do wrong? Nothing. We're not doing that. Erica Kirk did nothing wrong. She is who she is. She don't give a fuck if Charlie wanted to be her man. She seizes opportunities as they come by, with the top factor being Jesus. Nothing else matters. The fuck are you talking about? You co-sign this shit. You co-sign this shit, Candace.
A fashion company, and then if you look up the LLCs, certainly at the beginning of 2019, she files for a trademark for that fashion brand. So she is both running a fashion brand, getting her master's at Liberty University, getting her real estate license, and beginning a career with Corcoran Real Estate, which is a massive real estate firm in New York. And when we dig up the relic of what she was doing at Corcoran Real Estate, all we can find on Wayback Machine is that she had one listing. So how did this career get started? How were we not told that? How was I not told when I spoke to her that she was a real estate agent? I don't know.
Because you won't admit the main thing, Candace. And I'm sorry that this is the problem in America. Niggas are simps. And yes, nigga who you propped up is a fucking simp, and he turned on your ass on account of some pussy. That's what simps do, bitch. Bet you won't review this fucking video. This is the truth you need to fucking hear, and this will give you some fucking clarity on what happened here. You trying to put all these puzzles together. That's not how this works, Candace. The man's a simp. Don't you understand? That means everything, Candace. It's something that you must understand when dealing with men. You already said you know how the women in the feminist movement are. So that means you actually co-signed on Charlie Kirk marrying a damn boss bitch feminist. And now you're trying to blame her. I don't like it because you won't say Charlie's a simp. If you say Charlie's a simp, it will make everything better. But if you say Charlie's a simp, everything that he say about men, knowing he's the simp of the fucking year, it'll fuck everything up. So you're trying to make it seem like he's a decent man. Okay, he is. So why would you let him not pick a decent woman? And she's not a wrong woman. She's like most women in America. If every woman in America could have that woman's life, they would. Most. Where they get to work and be entrepreneurs and doing shit for the community, but it's paying off and blah, blah, blah. The woman is a boss.
How did this career get started? How were we not told that? How was I not told when I spoke to her that she was a real estate agent? I don't know. That all seems quite strange to me. The real estate thing seems a little bit strange to me. So
what would that have done? Would that have made you tell Charlie, don't be with her, Charlie? What about your part in all this shit?
I was basically like his wingman and very much enjoyed that. I was very pro Erica.
No, you don't get to turn on Erica now because it was all about Charlie. Charlie is the smart one. He's the one that deceived your ass, bitch. Hey, look, I'm just giving you from a pussy perspective and from a simp perspective, okay? Simp alert is ridiculous here.
So I want to add that to the pile for you TikTokers that are looking into things to let you know that you're on the right track and you've noticed.
There is no right track. You had the right track. Charlie went for you to co-sign on the bitch, and you co-signed because Charlie was simping like a motherfucker. Come on, man. This ain't about no damn TikTokers. But nobody's going to tell you this, Candace, and you ain't going to review this video.
Something that struck me as odd at the exact same moment that you came across it. I said, this is actually weird. This is not the Erica that I met. I didn't know anything about this.
You are not supposed to be any man's wingman except your husband. Now, can you call Charlie Kirk a simp for you being his wingman?
I was basically like his wingman, and very much enjoyed that. I was very pro Erica.
No. Why the hell would you want to be a man's wingman? You say, Charlie, don't use me for that. Use somebody else. Go get a dude. But he did have a dude, the McCoy boy. The McCoy boy said, Charlie, no. And that's why you said yes. Look, man.
How many careers can you have at the exact same time? Also, by the way, doing a reality show, dating, even though you never dated in New York City. Or at least what you told Barry Weiss. Anyway, I wanted to add that little tidbit before we answer.
Yes, but that makes Charlie look like a simp, and people let him be a simp. Candace, are you missing it? That let Charlie do that. Y'all let him do that. Y'all didn't say, yo, do you know this woman's mother and father, blah, blah. How could you let him do that? We don't do that in our community, Candace. That's why you stray away, so you can be a part of stupid shit like this. Trying to act like you bringing blackness to it. Blackness would have cussed Charlie ass out. Nigga, you ain't never had no Miss Arizona in your motherfucking life. Why you start now? Because you got a little bit of money? Why you can't get a regular woman? Now you want to blame her. It ain't her fucking fault. She ain't never stopped who she was. But Charlie did. And as we continue in this series, right, we're going to get into Charlie. Pause. Charlie was head over heels. Everybody knows it. I mean, goddamn, who don't know Charlie was head over heels? But it was all from a beauty standpoint. Yes, Erica's a good one. Listen, Erica can play all the roles you want her to play. She's great. I think nothing wrong of Erica. I'm telling you, I think nothing wrong of that woman. She was doing what she do. You think she would have been down if Charlie ain't marry her? Hell no. The woman is a international philanthropist, entrepreneur, boss, bitch, feminist. What? So who let Charlie marry this bitch? This is sick.
And was that Erica was working in fashion on this clothing brand, Proclaim Streetwear. She wore a lot of jewelry on her arm, and she was into like Christian branded fashion. So I'm just trying to understand why you would be trying to do both a fashion company, and then if you look up the LLCs, certainly as being of 2019, she files for a trademark for that fashion brand. So she is both running a fashion brand, getting her master's at Liberty University, getting her real estate license, and beginning a career with Corcoran Real Estate, which is a massive real estate firm in New York. And when we dig up the relic of what she was doing at Corcoran Real Estate, all we can find on Wayback Machine is that she had one listing. So how did this career get started? How were we not told that? How was I not told when I spoke to her?
Ma'am. Who the fuck are you? That man's simping. Are you kidding me?
So how did this career get started? How were we not told that? How was I not told when I spoke to her that she was a real estate agent? I don't know. That all seems quite strange to me. The real estate thing seems a little bit strange to me. So I want to add that to the pile for you TikTokers that are looking into things to let you know that you are on the right track and you've noticed something that struck me as odd at the exact same moment that you came across it. I said, this is actually weird. This is not the Erica that I met. I didn't know anything about this. How many careers can you have at the exact same time? Also, by the way, doing a reality show, dating, even though you never dated in New York City. Or at least what you told Barry Weiss. Anyway, I wanted to add that.
Ma'am, I'm sorry to tell you this, Candace, but that is an extensive resume. That is a basic boss bitch that made it in America. That is a feminist. That is everything that America preaches. What are you talking about? Question is, who's marrying that? Because the other guys was fucking her. So who's marrying that? A simp. Hello? Candace. He's a simp. Why? Why is he a simp, Prince?
I was basically like his wingman and very much enjoyed that. I was very pro Erica.
Well, only a simp would have a woman as a wingman to sign off. And what made it worse is now she's turning on the bitch. No, we don't do that. This is Charlie's fault. The McCoy boy, we're going to get into McCoy boy. I'll come. What time is it? Okay, we still got a couple minutes. Maybe I could find the McCoy boy. No, I'll take y'all out on this. Because this man really loved this woman. This nigga's sick.
And who was cozied up to each other. And as soon as the camera hit them, they both freaked out. As you saw, the guy ducked down below the camera and she walked away out of shame. It's a very important word, shame. We're going to dive into this. Now, the lead singer of Coldplay, Chris Martin, goes, oh, they're probably either having an affair or they're incredibly shy. And turns out Chris Martin was right. They were having an affair. Andy Byron's the CEO of the company, and the lady of the head of HR, Kristen Cabot, of the tech company, is as soon as the camera was put on them, their behavior changed. Why? Well, because their sin was being made public. That's why. Because they actually knew what they were doing was wrong. If Eric and I would be at a Coldplay concert, which I would be rather caught dead than be at a Coldplay concert. I would rather go to a WNBA game than go to a Coldplay concert. Couldn't think of something more boring and banal and a waste of time. But it's fine. It's a free society. Do whatever you want. But if Eric and I went to a Coldplay concert and they showed us on the video camera, I guess we would smile. I'd be more worried that a lib would come and like yell at me, but it wouldn't be like embarrassing. But isn't it interesting? They knew what they were doing was wrong. And when sins are allowed to happen in the shadows, you act a certain way. But all of a sudden, if you feel as if, or if you know you are being watched, your behavior changes. Now, let me just first talk about adultery.
There you go. Charlie Kirk ain't playing with y'all, man. Charlie Kirk ain't playing.
Try to lift you to a better place. Do you know somebody that's committing adultery right now? And are you covering up for it? Do you know it? Well, stop doing that. Stop being friends with people that commit adultery.
There you go, guys.
So, I mean, the memes are just hilarious right now. I could read it. And by the way, we should make fun of this. This is one of the few things that has united the internet. And honestly, it's given me a little bit of hope in humanity. Do you know why? Even the internet, in all of its wretched, disgusting secularism that has infected the internet, even the internet agrees that adultery is wrong. When it is exposed, even the internet agrees that that portion of the 10 Commandments is wrong. No, everyone's making fun of them. Good, you should. Everyone is shaming them. You absolutely should. And by the way, if he asks for forgiveness, that's a whole separate bridge to cross. It better be, first of all, there's only one person he has to ask for forgiveness from. That's from his wife, and we'll see what happens. I think they've already filed for divorce. There's a lot of fake news around this, by the way. Massachusetts. Somebody says, and I just love this, Coldplay hasn't made it. In fact, honestly, Coldplay is just something. It's much better than that. You know what it is? What Coldplay has done.
Hold on.
Is Coldplay topics that we can agree that you shall not cheat on your spouse, that you shall not commit adultery. And guess what? Andy Byron and Kristen Cabot knew that. Let's just rewatch that video one more time. Rewatch the video, how quickly they scatter away from the camera. Watch. You see how quickly they scatter away from the camera? And the other girl is like, oh my goodness, I can't believe it. They know. How many of you right now are involved in a repeated secret sin that you would go like that if it was made public? Not too late to repent. Not too late to stop it. How many of you guys would act like that if all of a sudden your spouse walked in and you were doing something, or they found out that you were violating a covenant? Don't do that. Let this be a lesson that, yes, we should delight in the fun, humorous moment here. But this is wrong. How would you act if all of a sudden you would end up on a Jumbotron? Act in a way that you could smile when you go up on a Jumbotron in front of 20,000 people. Not that you have to run away in shame. God bless you guys. Get our latest shirt.
There you go, guys. No? And that's what we have. So this is the first installation of the series that Charlie Kirk is a simp. Okay? It was no one else's fault. And it's all proof that Erica was who she was. She was a boss babe from the rip. She was born and bred to be that. Question is, how, who, and why did Charlie marry that woman? Because we know who signed off on it.
I was basically like his wingman and very much enjoyed that. I was very pro Erica.
So, Erica never did anything wrong. And once Candace can get this part through her head, it will open up her investigations. So that's why I'm going to do a whole series. And by the end of this series, you will figure it all out the way that I present it towards you, where you understand, well, We're looking at it from Charlie being the simp. And that will open up a lot of different avenues for you guys. And hopefully Candace Owens. Because if you cannot identify this part, Candace, then you are on and off the path at the same time. You must identify the truth. Only the truth. And the first line of order is, let's get this out the way. Charlie is a simp. It's impossible for a good, wholesome man like Charlie Kirk to not be with a good, and we would say shit, virgin. Okay? Charlie's supposed to have a virgin or a woman with one body. See, we look at this from the male perspective. All this other shit is bullshit. Because the way y'all looking at it is like this. Women are evil. Everybody knows that already. So how do you get caught up in it? You know, and like I say, if Candace knows everything to shut up and make a sandwich, you should have been able to tell Charlie why you can't get a woman that shuts up and make a sandwich. So subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on part 2.